are at the House of Photography, Fujifilm's House of Photography, for a brand new product. We've got it right here.
You may know this already, but you don't know it's not X-H2, it's X-H2S.
Yeah, unless they saw the rumours on Fuji Rumours.
Oh, only I don't know that.
But anyway, it's true, it's confirmed, it's here. It's the X-H2S, so this has got new sensor technology for super fast readouts. The S, it probably stands for speed. In fact, they've announced a 40 megapixel sensor as well, which is going to be in an X-H2 body.
And it will be not too surprisingly be called the X-H2H.
But for now, we have got this, the X-H2S, which is a 26 megapixel camera with their brand new X-Trans CMOS sensor, which allows it to do some pretty cool things.
Let's see.
Let's find out. It's been a long time coming. X-H1 was quite a few years now. Tim Pan was filming that video for me, and so he was still in university. Now he's a global phenomenon. In terms of the look, not hugely different. I like these actually, the strap lugs. That's very Leica-esque, isn't it? Integrated, not so flush on the other side, almost flushed it, but they've got the big fat negative screen there, just like on the X-H1. Yeah, we like that.
G-Shock.
Better than G-Shock. Some of the negative screens on G-Shocks are like, you can't read the time.
Well, you can't read the time with it and you can't chuck it about like a G-Shock, but damn, this is a mighty fine screen indeed.
Yeah, so it's a bit smaller. It's 660 grams, which is quite lightweight when you take that off. But it's still got the big chunky grip. Really nice grip actually. This is the best grip you can get for Fuji. Updated some very minor things, you know, little button presses are improved. Yay, because I was always complaining about the button presses. But a better placement of this button to release the lens. Not that I was complaining before. They said non-slip on-off switch.
What does it mean?
I don't know. I don't remember thinking, oh, that's very slippery, that on-off switch.
Oh, my finger.
I'm not going to buy it now because I simply cannot switch the camera on when my fingers are covered in butter.
Right, the on-off switch is more finger catchy due to popular demand, but peer through that viewfinder and things are very eye catchy.
By the way, this viewfinder is fantastic. It is massive and there's like over 5.6 million dots EVF. It is very nice. This is 120 frames per second refresh rate. And it's very quick. The change from LCD to EVF is actually faster than before. Look at that. Ooh. This is different actually, isn't it? PASM dial. They've made it sort of more like a Pro DSLR. You've got the double dials here. Of course, you can still use it with lenses with an aperture ring.
It's an interesting move, especially given that that is one of the main attractions of the X series. A PASM dial has replaced the dedicated ISO and shutter speed dials. It works like any other pro level camera now, but I do miss having those dials.
Oh, hang on, this is still rolling. Oh no, sorry. I'm also rolling, I'm also taking videos close up with that lens. By the way, that's a brand new lens. And you've got lots of close-up shots of just that part of the lens lock. This is a new power zoom lens. Everybody's going power zoom. What is it with power zoom? I mean, it's useful for video, but this is super light. Look at that. And it's internal zoom, internal focusing. Quite nice. 18 to 120. Useful for video. F4, all the way. It's got a 3 times faster sensor readout. They've got new technology. It's a stacked CMOS sensor. Look at that, you can just see the stack there. Can you see it? It's just like magical.
The real magic is in the processor that puts the S in the X-H2S. With the up-spec speed also comes the requirement for up-spec and unfortunately for your pocket, up-priced fancy cards to cope with its newfound performance perks.
So essentially you've got 40 FPS electronic shutter burst, which is alright, isn't it? That's quite amazing. But you can do 30, you can do 20. Mechanical shutter is 15 FPS. But that also means that the buffer is improved.
I'm not going to read off a load of numbers, it's not bingo. Here's the buffer specs for your perusal, and if that doesn't interest you, here's something else to keep you amused.
Who takes 1,000 shots of one subject? They've managed to engineer sound to make it sound like a drum machine. or clap, electronic clap. Anyway, it's quite right. It's quite nice to hear that.
Nice clap, but even nicer is that in burst mode, this thing goes like the clappers.
Boom, here we go. This is the mechanical shutter, 15 FPS. Let's go. Let's go.
There are other cameras that do 15 FPS. Yeah, pretty standard stuff. However, the X-H2S does feel pretty phenomenal shooting at 15 FPS. With the speedy processor, the focus feels a lot more alive, speedier than before. The AF is quite impressive considering I'm following a random moving subject in close proximity. It feels like it could keep shooting forever and ever with JPEG only, but not everyone wants to or is capable of lasting that long.
So it's 15 FPS. Now let's try electronic shutter. This is pre-release. This is not final firmware, so I think I've locked up actually. Lock's locked it up. Right, it's one of those, let's take the battery out and hopefully not all is lost. Same battery. Improved battery life though.
Yeah, battery life tends to be better when you have the battery outside of the camera.
Ooh. It's got no card apparently. Oh, brilliant. Lock, you're going to have to run around again. Oh no, it's locked up.
No judgment, it's a pre-pro unit. Still, show must go on, etc.
40 FPS.
Yeah. This is madness. But
Electronic shutter bursts are always strangely serene. 40 FPS is at its limit. It looks like there's more out of focus shots, but more shots are being taken.
okay, I reached the buffer.
I reached my buffer.
Yeah.
And 40 FPS with 120 FPS live view, that means there are 2 bits of data that are read between each shot.
So anyway, it does 40 FPS. It's quite important that it has 3 times faster readout because that means in between each shot, especially when you're just taking 20 FPS or 15 FPS, there's more information being collected.
Point is, 15 FPS may not be the big figure. It's the same as an X-T4 and one more than X-H1, but it's just got a lot more accurate because it'll collect more useful data for AF and stuff between each frame. 7 lots of data between each frame.
So you can have better AF, more accurate, better for tracking fast-ish moving subjects. Well, yeah, apart from that, it's not just faster autofocus for stills. This has got improved video. This does 4K 120. The 4K 120 is cropped, but the 4K 60 is not cropped, which is quite amazing. But even more amazing, it does ProRes internally.
That's why you need one of these cards.
Hopefully, by doing this, it doesn't make the camera explode. Let's see what the time is. We don't have much time. We've been given an hour with us.
No, half an hour.
Okay, so it does 6K as well, 6.2K. That's 3:2 aspect ratio. Let's quickly do that just to show you. Okay, there you go. That's all you need to know about 6K. The 4K 120 is a 1.29 times crop, which is all right. It's not too drastic. Of course, it's already a crop camera. Instantly, you can see the crop. Look at that. Naughty boy.
4K 120 isn't selected in the usual frame rate menu. It's got its own special menu, high speed recording. You get the 120 or 100 FPS as a slow-mo playback with no sound, as well as the crop, of course, but there's still 4K 60, which isn't cropped and has sound.
Hey man, what you doing, man? Pavement's not for cycling. Yo, get off. Oh, there's 2 of them. My mind's blown. What's going on with this world? Oh, well, take another route. I can't drive on this road. Everybody's cycling on this road. Look at this. Oh man.
Yeah, get off.
I'm gonna take this.
Get off your bike.
I'm gonna send this to the police. The police can watch it in slow motion. And it does have F-Log, but now it's also got F-Log 2 as well. So base ISO for F-Log 2 is 1250. The base ISO for F-Log is lower. But you get more dynamic range with F-Log 2. You get 14 stops dynamic range. Lock is boogieing. to the music. Base ISO for F-Log is 640. Oh no, no, you should just kept it to head movement. Base ISO of hybrid log gamma, it's 1000.
Quite a lot.
Yeah.
One thing you can see there is that the aperture still steps.
So the stepless aperture, that is actually lens dependent as it turns out, because it only works with this new lens, the PZ lens. So stabilization has also been improved. We've got digital image stabilization, 5-axis stabilization, so you can have that as well. Boost. And a minute we've got IBIS, OIS. It sounds like some diseases of the bowel. Got IBIS. Stabilization works really well though, with just the OIS and the in-body stabilization. I'm talking about rolling shutter is great.
According to Fujifilm, rolling shutter in 4K 25p will be 5.6 milliseconds, which makes it better than a C300 Mark III. I can't verify that, but I can verify that it's really rather good.
That's really good. You can't hardly see any jello. Well, you can also do ProRes RAW, HDMI. Oh yeah, and B-RAW. B-RAW? Blackmagic RAW.
I'm just gonna say it. It costs $2.5 grand, body only, yes, ouch. But they're gearing this thing up to be one of the ultimate APS-C cameras.
Apart from that, they've made it, you can see on the back here, look, 2 holes there, because you can put a fan on it. That's the fan, so you just screw it on there. Screen, unfortunately that means the screen can't flip, you always have to have it out.
But not too many people need that, because they say you only need that if you're sitting in hot climate, under the sun.
I mean 40 degrees C, that's quite hot.
Yeah.
But it's quite interesting because there's no holes on the back or anything, so the fan is just to make the back of it cooler. It's just to extract the heat out.
It's still just metal on metal.
It works apparently, so I think it's like the tilter fan for the Canon EOS R5.
Yeah. It looks like some aftermarket thing.
Yeah. This looks really aftermarket, isn't it? There's no branding on it.
Fan of the fan or not, at least a fan is an extra. It doesn't come with it. But that's cool, because I think this update to the X-H1 is hot in the right areas. It might have been 4 years since the one, and it almost seemed like it wasn't to be, but Fujifilm has made sure that they're bringing it back with a bang. If you can get past the price and the fact that you'll be getting a camera that is top of the ladder without any potential to upgrade to full frame, this is a seriously well-spec'd piece of kit. For photos and video, this really could be the best APS-C mirrorless camera out there. This video is sponsored by Squarespace. If you want to set up your own domain, online retail space or website, it's super simple to get started and make your next move with Squarespace. With an easy to use interface filled with loads of templates and backed up with 24/7 customer service. You can try it out with a 14-day free trial and get 10% off your first order with this link and discount code.